Rise and shine, beautiful people. Hello, lovelies and friends and family and frenemies too. I send nothing but love and positivity to you. Um, I had a little rough night. Woke up around, what was it, 3? And I think I messed up probably because I drank a lot of energy drinks while I was traveling to visit my daughter in Jacksonville. So it was like I had a week full of traveling. I know I-10 and 75, they know my wheels real well. I can travel down those highways with my eyes closed. That's how much I've been on the road. So yes, I am a little tired. I'm not looking fully like myself, but I will make sure I get me a nap in with this nice, beautiful weather. Um, During rainy season, it's like the best nap time. I will say that. So when I did wake up late, like 3 o'clock in the morning, um, I had a lot of rushing thoughts, and it wasn't anything too bad, but it was almost like a download, almost like my spirit team, my spirit guides, they were just bomb rushing me with all these different things that I need to get done and really speak out about and stuff like that. And I guess I'm in my era where I really need to speak out, because to me, I feel like my voice was locked away in a vault somewhere buried under a church. Honestly, that's kind of how I felt. Like it was so hard to express myself without sounding very dramatic. I guess that would be the word. I wanted to make sure people understood my pain, because I was hoping that they can help my pain go away. I mean, like I stated in a lot of my Facebook posts, I mean, whenever I talk about my childhood trauma, I used to go to my pastor. I used to go to a therapist. I used to talk to family. I used to talk to friends. And a lot of times it's like my situation was kind of like brushed under the rug. It was almost like if I went to a pastor, I was told to read a Bible verse. I was told to be more active in church. If I talked to a family member, they would compare my life to their life. Like, okay, you was born in the 50s and the 60s. So how you handled things back then may be different from the way I handle things and how I feel about things or felt about things. When I talked to a friend, it just seemed like I was always full of just trauma and issues. And sometimes that can be very draining to hear, especially when people don't really have an answer or a solution to your issue. So thankfully, we went through this modern upgrade, and now we have technology. Everybody have access to videos and phones and computers, and people can be reached across the world. And you just never know how your story can impact somebody way over in India or over in Africa. You know what I mean? Because like I said, everything that we experience is very similar. It's just some things may be different. You know what I mean? Like poverty in America may be very different from poverty over in Africa or a small village over in India. So, but at the end of the day, we all know we're all hungry. We're all in need of love and support, and we're all in need of the basic essentials to function and thrive in a successful way. So today, I think, with those thoughts in mind and me getting a little bit of sleep, I wanted to talk more about not just transparency, but just using your voice to bring about change in a positive way. Let me tell you how unique I discovered I am. I'm not going to completely tell my birth date, but I'm a life path 5. I was supposed to have 5 children, but I lost one in a domestic altercation. And then the guy that I married is 5 years older than me. And I'm pretty sure there's more information behind the number 5, but I will tell you this. When you want to know what path you're supposed to be on or know more about thyself, you need to add all the numbers in your birth date, like the month, the day, and the year, add all of them together. And like, for an example, if your birthday is November 5th, 2008, then you would add 1 plus 1 plus 5 plus 2 plus, the zeros, and then the 8. And then whatever total you come up to, if it's a single digit, then that is your life path. But if it's a double digit, then you still got to add those 2 numbers together. And then the single number is what your life path is. It tells you all about your experiences and what you will be experiencing while you are living in your earthly avatar, which is, your body. So I just thought that was a little interesting tip to to share. I'm learning more about the spiritual world. I'm learning. I used to always find that so intriguing. Learning about paranormal activity, learning about more about science stuff, how the earth elements support our health and energy, and all that good juicy stuff. So I did take some notes. So if you see me kind of looking away, that's because I didn't want to. Because like I said, when you get downloads, you kind of want to cover a lot of information, and sometimes it'll throw you off track. So to kind of keep my information kind of going in a certain flow, I kind of take a little note or create a little outline. So that's why I look down. Okay. So the day I mentally transformed is the day that I begin to physically transform. And so I'll say back in, what year was that? 2019. That is the year that I experienced a severe back injury. I wouldn't say that it was karma, but at the same time, it could have been. I don't know. I was going through a fire drill with my co-teacher. Well, actually, she was like my assistant. And I knew she wasn't quite wrapped too tight, but I couldn't really put my finger on what was going on, because she used to tell me that she does have some mental issues, but it was like really hard to see it, but it was there. Like, for an example, she would hang up decoration in the classroom, and if it wasn't staying on the wall, she would have a meltdown. Like, she would turn into a toddler that cannot make things happen their way. So I already knew right then, okay, I don't know how this is gonna work, but I'm gonna just try to go with it and help the girl out the best way I can. So during a fire drill, one of the students was sleeping, and she did not want to wake the student up. And I told her I think it's best to wake that student up, because already the student is heavy, and nobody ain't trying to be moving quickly carrying a little heavy behind child. She insisted on picking the boy up, walking out the door. She lost her breath. She then started to have a panic attack. She got close to me and was telling me that she don't know if she can continue to hold the boy. I've been told her to put the boy down. She didn't want to listen, so she was walking so fast where she lost her balance and started to fall forward on the concrete, and I had to turn around and walk over to catch her and the little boy. As soon as I grabbed her, because she's not a small person, and the child, my back made a crack sound, like I heard it. And I was able to get her and place her down, and then I had to really go and have somebody call the paramedics, because she actually started having an anxiety attack or a panic attack. So probably like, everything calmed down. We couldn't, really figure out what was going on. She didn't really want us to call the paramedics. She wanted us to call her dad, but no one could understand why she was having a hard time breathing, because that's what she kept doing, holding her chest, saying, I can't breathe. But to sum it all up, later on, we found out that she was on almost 9 different medications. Her parents had her live in a special type of home, and it was just a lot going on with her. But with all that being said, me trying to help her out caused me to lose a part of my life, because I had to recover. It took me almost 2 years to recover. Like, I had slight paralysis. Like, I couldn't move. I couldn't get up. I even had to have my kids come walk me to the restroom sometimes, because I was in such excruciating, it was terrible pain. I don't know why I couldn't say excruciating. I don't know why that couldn't come out, but it came out. So I was in so much pain, constantly going through pain doctors, constantly taking medications. But throughout my whole process, I felt like I was pretty much just going through it by myself. I did get, some support from my husband at the time, but it's like, I felt, now this is my thought process, I felt like he started to look at me differently, and the respect started to get real kind of low. And I'm like, I found myself getting in more arguments during that time, during my low down time, than any time at all. But anyway, that is one thing that I really want people to understand, is your mindset not only can be used to think and figure things out, but it can affect your whole entire body, your whole entire life. Your mindset, that brain. You just don't know how much that brain plays an important role in your life. And I'm not just talking about because it's alive and the neurons are connected. I'm talking about your whole way of living. So I was trained to believe that being Christ-like is the only way to make it into heaven. I was trained to believe in Christian theories and ideas, and to forgive others, turn the other cheek, be submissive, be quiet. That was my way of thinking. That was my foundation. That was how I started out in earth, in the world, in society. And I will say some of that information did carry me a long ways, and some of it really hindered my growth spiritually. Um, it was to the point to where I'm like, why am I learning all of this? But when I go home, it's always chaos. It was almost like when I was younger, I seen a lot of sin, a lot of unpleasant things take place in my household. But then there's certain days where I would see a lot of holy type of role playing. I would hear gospel music playing and see the Bibles open, and you know, scriptures being read and being challenged and talked about, and watching Christian shows on television. But then it's like right after that, then you would have to deal with people fighting addictions. Not really fighting, but fighting with others because of their addictions. Domestic violence, hair being pulled out, bruises on the face, and egos being bruised. It was like I was so lost and confused in the world, but it's almost like I knew how to play the role accordingly. Like I was put in a position where, okay, when I had to deal with a drunk auntie or a drunk uncle, okay, then I just went along and said, hey, okay, what can I do to make sure you don't fall and break your behind? What can I do to help you out, to comfort you with, your craziness? And then after I played that role with trying to be loving and supportive, then I had to go play a role where, okay, Grandma, where do I pass out the program for the church service? What can I do to help get things ready for church and just to make Sunday school an easy transition for the kids? You're like, what can I do to help? So it was like I was pulled in all different types of directions, just trying to help. But it's like I found myself helping others, helping here, helping there, helping friends, helping loved ones, and all this and that. But it's like I lost my voice in the meantime of helping, because it's like when I went to speak out against the things that I knew was really backwards and fucked up, I really didn't know exactly how to put the words together to let them know that this is sanity. This is crazy. Like, and it's like a repetitive pattern that, you have to deal with when, okay, we already know Friday night, so somebody about to play some loud music with Shaka Khan or Bobby Womack, or, who else they used to, and, all of just the blues singers. We about to hear that on Friday night. It's about to be some crazy mess take place. Somebody finna challenge each other, knowing they too drunk to throw hands. Then on Sunday night, then Sunday they sleep it off, and then it's time to praise the Lord. So, being in the world, growing up in the world like that was very interesting, and I learned a lot from both sides, But I will say this: it had got to a point in my life where I wanted to shed my old ways of thinking. I wanted to know if there's really real love and peace out there, because it seemed like I grew up in a world in a time where you had to do favors in order to get something in return, even if it's your silence, even if it's something like, okay, don't speak on this, what stays in this house stays in this house, and then now you got a peaceful place to live. But if you speak up, then you're going to be outcast and treated like the black sheep and called crazy and called a liar and all kinds of stuff. So I know I carried those thoughts and those patterns with me. Not that I did any of those things and committed those sinful acts, but I know that though the experience just kind of stuck with me, because I wanted to understand the lesson, and I got tired of thinking that this was the only way to live. I know it's got to be more to life than living in this type of craziness. So going within, for me, trying to recover from a back injury. I'm kind of skipping forward and backwards, so y'all just bear with me. When I had my back injury back in 2019, I wanted to know, how can I heal myself without being, without intaking so many different types of pain medication to the point where I couldn't even function right. I wanted to know, okay, what can I do to holistically heal myself? Because I know that if I cut myself and it heals within a week or two, why can't I heal my back injury? I know I don't expect it to happen in a week or two, but I know that our bodies are meant to heal and recover from issues. So that is kind of what led to my spiritual awakening. I went through video after Instagram, after YouTube, reading, researching, trying to figure it out. Started going on a fast. Then I ended up running across Anthony Bowder information, then Dr. Ray Hagen's information, and then what is it called? Yaki, his information. And I just started learning more about Dr. Sebi and just knowing how to heal holistically. And so eventually I started to notice a change in the things that I do. I'm not saying that I'm 100%, because of course my body's aging. I had twins, babies and things like that. So I don't expect everything to just go back to its original form. But to know that I can heal myself and not feel pain and still function in complete day-to-day activities, I was determined to figure that out. And so it worked. A lot of the things that I tried with home remedies worked more than just taking a strong dose of ibuprofen. I already was poked in my back more than 3 times. And I was like, okay, are we playing poke around? I don't know, but it just didn't work. So with me going within, with me learning more about spirituality, caused even my own family members to look at me sideways. I lost weight because I figured, okay, if I lose weight, then I won't have so much pressure on my nerves in my back. But then what caused me to lose a lot of weight is because I stopped eating animal products. I stopped eating a lot of meat products, and that caused me to drop some pounds. I mean, I was pushing at least 250 with all of the things that I was going through in life and stress and not eating healthy. I was pushing a lot of weight, and but yeah, I quickly started dropping pounds. It was all about my mindset though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know that I could not have done it if I did not have the right mindset. If I did not want to know what it's like to be healthy and to have peace and love and to know how to use my body to its advantage to heal myself, detox from things. I had to have the right mindset, and that's why I always point that out in every one of my videos. I can sit and talk, give all the information out. You can sit and take it all in, but if you do not truly want to make change and tell your mind that we're going to do this and nothing not going to interfere with me, I'm not going back to my old ways and my old habits, that's the only way you're going to be able to push through. You got to look at your end goal. Yeah, it's going to be a struggle through the process, but you got to look at your end goal. You want longevity. You want to have healthier skin, healthier hair. You want to have a healthy mindset. That's a part of it. So like I said, family members looked at me sideways. I've been called crazy. I've been called stupid. I've been called mental. I've been called bipolar. I've been called a bitch, a lying hoe. I've been called all kinds of names because I refuse to bow down and submit to old ways and old ideas and old actions. And a lot of times I feel like the people that called me names were just portraying the things that they were hiding within themselves. They were unhappy with themselves and did not have the strength to fight addictions and to make changes. So instead of them jumping on board with me, they just decide to, create these illusions to make me think or make others think that, okay, I'm losing my mind. I'm going crazy. And this is when it brings me back to the most recent headline event with P. Diddy. They tried to call Orlando Brown crazy. They tried to call Jaguar White crazy, Justin B crazy, Cassie crazy. And they, the social media or the powers that be tried to use their weaknesses against them. And that pretty much goes on not just in the music industry and the acting or cinema industry, but it happens in day-to-day lives. It's just they have more money, and that's why it kind of stands out. But yeah, that same scenario happened to me as well. People tried to do favors and buy my silence so I don't speak out against some messed up stuff they were doing. People tried to call me crazy because I refused to destroy my life and my body. I mean, if God gave me my body and my mind as a gift, why would I want to destroy it? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I want to sit there and just, not take care of it when I was put here for a purpose, and I was put here to take care of what he gave me. It's not just about taking care of the trees, taking care of the water, taking care of the animals. It's about you. You got to take care of you. If you don't take care of you, you can't take care of the trees, can't take care of anything else. So yeah, I was called all kinds of names because I refused to believe that I got to live in chaos in order to be at peace. Like, if I'm showing you love, why are you exchanging my love that I'm giving you for some lies and for hurt and for abuse? So that's kind of what I went through. And another thing that let me tell you, my first domestic altercation happened when I was 18 years old. Yep, 18 years old. Like I said, I grew up in a household where domestic violence became the norm, but it really did get out of hand. It did get real ugly and brutal. But I never wanted that kind of life, but I just ended up attracting that type of person. And let me tell you, no matter what, if you don't correct your childhood trauma and fix your energy, get out of that low vibrational way of surviving, you got to balance your chakras. If you don't do that, you're going to attract what you're trying to run from. So I remember back when I was just leaving my mom's house, because I kind of got tired of the chaos that was going on there, and ran into the arms of somebody so charming and handsome, and I felt like I won a trophy. And I just kind of did whatever I could, even though I lost a part of me. I lowered my dignity just because I wanted to have this, my ex in my life. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, we about to start a life. We good. We actually moved up from being platonic to now we're trying to be exclusive. And so we came to an agreement to get rid of anything that kind of reminds us of exes in our past, because we wanted to start a new chapter together, a healthy, new, good chapter. So I got rid of my pictures of my exes and my friends. And even though they were my exes, I didn't want it to seem like I was an enemy, but, it was just a memory, but we agreed to get rid of it. He agreed to get rid of his pictures of his exes. And so I ran across a stack of his pictures and a stack of pictures that he had of his ex. I mean, it wasn't really a big deal at the time, because I'm like, okay, so she's half, she's in a bikini, she's looking nice and plumptious. And what are you going to do with those pictures? Are you going to try to hold on to them, or are you going to let them go? So I was told, he showed, okay, I'm going to let him go. I'm going to throw him away. So we moved, and we were packing up, and I kind of didn't think anything else of it. I didn't go back and check. I just kind of was like, okay, well, we good. He threw it away. We moving on. We start a new chapter. But when I got ready to get the last little bit of things that we had at the house, something told me to look in a pillowcase and look at the last book. Now, it was a pillowcase, a king size type of pillowcase with thick school books, at least 10 books in the pillowcase. But something told me to go to the bottom, the last book. I opened the pillowcase, took all the books out, opened the last book, and it was a whole lot of pictures of the same girl in a bikini set. And I'm like, well, what the fuck is this? Okay, I know I seen him throw it away. I did not see him go back to the trash can and get it. So what is this? So I opened the pictures and I threw them all over the house. So as soon as he come in the door, he can see that I found his stash that he tried to, keep from me. I tried to leave because I felt like if you still going to hold on to your past and you already starting this relationship out with a lie, then we don't need to be together. And so when I was leaving, he decided to follow me, trying to come up with an excuse for me not to leave. I continued to walk and mind my business, like I don't see him, I don't hear him, because I needed to process all of this. What I done left home, I done moved in with this dude, and he already showing me that he's not trustworthy. What can I do with this? I done got myself in a situation. I didn't want to go back home, but at the same time, I didn't want to stay with a liar. I continued to walk, and then he caught up with me, and then I said, okay, well, if you want to play that game, fine. And when I said that, this dude grabbed my neck and started strangling me, like really squeezing my neck to the point where I couldn't even scream. I was just so like shocked and scared because it happened so fast to where I had to fight him, trying to get him off me. Then all of a sudden he realized, it's almost like he blanked out because he forgot what he was doing. That's the kind of reaction that I noticed while I was being strangled. And then he tried to hug me and apologize and like, please don't leave me, please. I don't want us to be over and stuff like that. And now this was the time that I used my student loan money and everything that I had saved up and poured it into starting our new life together. So with that being said, that would have just put him in a bad situation. Okay, you already done had your car repoed by your ex, another ex-girlfriend. You already just came out of a situation with the police and assault. Now here we go. You not having a place to stay, and now we trying to make something happen. So because I was trained to be Christ-like, because I did not have the right guidance and the support, I went ahead and accepted the apology. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Walking around with blue fingerprints on my neck because I wanted to receive love and try to demonstrate an example of being Christ-like. So that pretty much opened up the doors to telling him it's okay to hurt me because my Christ-like mentality will forgive you. And as time went on, it was more disrespect sprinkled here and there. It was almost like here and there. And that's why today, when I mention these things to him, he tells me, well, it ain't like I did it every single day. But you did it. And a lot of times you never took accountability. And then you did it to the point to where I even lost a life behind tempers. And then you don't want to go and get help. But yet you tell me, okay, well, my daddy did this too. So are you supporting that type of mentality? If your dad took your mom through hell most of her life, do you think that is the way? That is okay? Because you seen your daddy do it, and you seen your uncle do it to your auntie. You seen your brother do it to his girlfriend. Now, and then on top of that, you got a daughter that ended up marrying to domestic violence. So tell me, when do the generational curse end? And so that's why I speak up against injustice. It ain't like I'm trying to out anybody. When you too blind to see what you're doing wrong, my gift, my job, no, it's not to heal you. No, it's no. Even though that already came to me in my dream, that my hand was blessed to the point where these people was coming after me. They looked like demons or vampires, and each person that came close to me, when I touched them with my hand, it's almost like they went through an exorcist, and the demon shadow part of them started to dissipate, disappear, and they started to come back to their normal selves. But my job, no, I'm not trying to go around and be some kind of holy priest and put my hands on people. My job is to let you see, to help you recognize that just like I got flaws, you got flaws too. If I can try to work on mine and fix mine, you can fix yours too. Me being pissed off, me trying to be vindictive, me trying to come at you, it ain't gonna help improve my situation. It's not gonna pay my bills. It's not gonna help heal my health. It's not gonna do none of that. It's not. So I use my voice to teach, to heal, to help others that's going through the same situation. I've been through so much in my life and been taught to be quiet about a lot of things, to where I know if I would have spoke up so much sooner, my life would be so different to this day. But I take what I have and I just embrace it. I embrace it. Just like I was, since I've been married, I've been exposed to domestic violence. I've been exposed to lies. I've been exposed to verbal abuse. I've been exposed to STD. I've been exposed to infidelity. I've been exposed to a lot of narcissists, a lot of things. And because I chose to love someone else and not myself, I created my own demise, honestly, because I didn't know any better. Because I was stuck in the mindset of Jesus suffered. What makes me any different? Jesus got whipped. How many lashes? He got spit on. He got cursed out. He went through a lot. But at the end of the day, I had to realize my name is Kiki. My name is not Jesus Christ. I don't even look like the man. He ain't even in my family. He not even in my bloodline. Why am I trying to imitate another idea, another culture idea, just so I can find a peace of mind on earth? I found my peace within me. I didn't look for it in nobody else. Nobody didn't have to put oil on my head. I had oil put on my head. Actually, I had oil put on my head right after I lost and miscarried one of the babies I had. Oil put on my head. That didn't change. That didn't bring my baby back. That did not change the person that put me through situations. But then he used his charm and his good looks and his swag to constantly pull people in on his side. And if you are low vibrational, guess what? People attract who they are. That's why they got birds, what they say, birds that flock together, something about the same feather. I know I effed that one up. I know I did. But the point is, you attract who you are. I was a broken girl when I met my husband. I was broken. I didn't have self-esteem. I was like the naughty Cinderella of the family, of out of my sisters. I was like the one that knew that I wanted life to be better for me, but I did not have the right people in my path to push me to that point. And so I had to go the long ways around. I had to go through a whole lot more brokenness. And then I had to piece myself back together to the point where now I can stand in my skin and be brave and not be ashamed of who I am. So I'm going to tell you one thing. When I sat with a counselor, I couldn't get all this out because it was all about, let me focus on your childhood. Me being molested don't have anything to do with me being cheated on today in my marriage. I did all I can to satisfy and do all I can. I did all I can with the little bit of knowledge I had. And I'm not ashamed of none of the stuff that I went through. I am not. And this is just, 30%. 30% of some real fucked up stuff that I had to swallow and face. But I appreciate knowing this information now, because if I would have left this world, if I would have had to leave this world without knowing myself, without knowing the true design behind the system, this life, I think I would have to come back and start it all over again until I figure it out and learn the lesson. So I hope I don't have to come back to this earth and have to deal with another narcissist. I really hope not. But yeah, guys, my stories, they may be brutal, they may be sensitive, but it is what it is. We still gotta love, we still gotta get up, and we still gotta push forward. And that's all I'm doing. I'm not gonna let this break me down. No matter how hard and challenging it is, I'm not the first one that went through domestic violence. I'm not the first one to lose a baby. I know I won't be the last. But I know I'm going to touch somebody out there. somebody out there going to figure this out and make sure they recognize the signs of red flags. They recognize the signs of trauma. They can see through the beautiful outer appearance, like the sheep that's dressed in the wolf that's dressed in sheep clothing. Y'all, I'm just tearing up all of these idioms. I'm just tearing them up. But you know what I mean. Y'all gonna recognize it, and it's not just in men. Y'all gonna recognize it in women too. I know some really toxic women out there that exist, and they will do whatever they can to get their way and have their way because they're broken too. And they figured, okay, well, if I can run game on this person, I'm gonna run game on you too, because they use your weakness. That's what happens. My weakness was used against me. I did not have a full-time mother or father in my life, and they knew a lot of my brokenness and my background. I think I was more transparent now than I ever been before, but I'm still gonna do me. I'm still gonna stand up strong. I'm still gonna love myself. I'm still gonna take my mistakes and turn it into something beautiful. Because like I told you, when you go through bad things, it always bring in the beauty. It's just like you're going through a bad hurricane storm, but then afterwards, that sunshine, like it never stormed a day within that week. So that's kind of where I'm at. Be careful, protect yourself, because nobody ain't gonna love you like you love yourself. So with that being said, guys, till next time, take care, stay positive, keep pushing on. Peace out.